Thank you for tuning into our seller interview series. Up today, we've got an Amazon FBA business for sale in the occasions and gifts niche. Created in September 2015, this business makes $5,918 per month in net profit, and the listing number for the business is 45967. We do these interviews to give potential buyers more information about both the seller and the businesses they're looking to purchase. We hope these insights are helpful for you in making a buying decision. We've got the sellers with us today to go through the business and cover everything from niche selection to traffic and monetization. Jake and Tucker, thank you guys for taking the time to be on here with me today. How are you doing?
We're doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing very well here. I'm just glad we could connect. So I'm very excited to discuss this business with you, but before we dive into the questions that I have, I want to go ahead and run through a little quick summary of it. Again, it was built in September of 2015, has a monthly revenue of $39,100, expenses of $33,182 to make for a net profit of $5,918, which is generated on a 12-month average. Included in the sale of this business are the Seller Central account with 14 SKUs, domain and all site content and files, and the Pinterest account. Jake and Tucker, can you guys tell us a little bit about your background in building and running online businesses and how you came together to start this one?
Yeah, I'll start us off. So we started about 3.5 years ago with no experience selling on Amazon. We started out in retail arbitrage, learned a lot of lessons from doing that. And we took those principles that we've learned and applied them to private labeling. Over the past 3 years or so, we've built that private label brand until where we are now.
And so now you've clearly found something that works for you. So why have you decided to sell it today?
Yeah, so we both work full-time jobs. We've done all of this part-time, after work, on the weekends. And despite the low overhead that the business still has, we're still sticking to our day jobs, and we see this as a good opportunity to simplify. The income that we get from Amazon is pretty predictable, and we have a good formula for success, but we got a lot going on in our lives. We have other investment opportunities. We'd really like to get into real estate, which we've been drawn to as a long-term, tried and true investment strategy. And the timing just feels right to shift our assets in that direction. And additionally, I recently got engaged. I'm looking for a house, planning a wedding. There's just a lot going on in both of our lives now. And we're looking to kind of move on to the next thing.
Can you tell me a little bit about how this bit makes money for someone who's listening and doesn't understand the Amazon FBA model?
Yeah, I'll let Tucker go ahead with that one.
Yeah, so basically, the beauty of Amazon FBA is you don't have to spend a lot of time doing it. You can pass off a lot of the work to Amazon. So they'll fulfill your products, your orders for you. And they have such a large reach where you can reach millions of customers very simply. It's something that it'd be very hard to build yourself in the course of time that it takes to build a business. Amazon really does it for you. And our job here is just to find products that do sell on Amazon, come up with our own spin, and see if they work.
When looking at the business as it currently stands, can you walk me through what it takes from you two, the owners, to maintain it at its current level?
Sure, yeah. So we spend anywhere between 2 to 5 hours per week between the two of us, kind of maintaining the ongoing business operations. We've got about 14 SKUs, and we have an analytics account that just keeps us updated on our inventory, how fast things are moving, and we periodically check that. And when something starts to run low on stock, we send an email to one of our 2 manufacturers, and they get that going, and they send us an invoice, and the wheels start turning on that. We never need to put our hands on the product. We just have them sent into FBA warehouses, and then they're restocked and they keep selling. So that's kind of the basic what needs to be done. And we also monitor that analytics account, trying to make sure our margins are still where they want to be. If we need to go in and adjust our advertising campaigns, or if something looks a little off, we'll just investigate it. But really pretty low overhead, and we just try to stay in stock so that we can keep selling. And we spend a little extra time sometimes around tax season. Obviously, we got to do our taxes. Around Christmas, we kind of get a spike in sales. So you got to do a little extra planning on the inventory side of things when that comes around. But for the most part, you just want to stay in stock and let the sales keep coming through.
Something you notice when you look back over the last year at the numbers is that there's some seasonality here. So particularly late summer and December are the highest months of the year. And can you walk me through why that is?
Sure. Yeah. So with our product landing in the wedding niche, occasions and gifts around that industry, we do well in the summer because there's a lot of weddings in the summer. So that explains that part of the seasonality. And then we've got some hunches on the Christmas season. But the big thing, I guess, there is just Amazon goes crazy around Christmas time, and we benefit from that as well.
When I was reading off the assets for the business, one thing I mentioned was that there's a website here. Can you explain what the role of the website is?
Sure. The website was primarily built so that we could qualify for Amazon's brand registry 1.0. So we are brand registered through that program. We do not have a trademark, so we're not on Amazon's 2.0 brand registry, but the website was primarily built for that purpose. Redirect all the links on the website back to Amazon. If someone happens to wind up on that website, which we really aren't sure how they would wind up there, they'd end up just on Amazon's site in the end anyway. So it really doesn't serve that much of a purpose as far as driving business, but we do have it.
And there's also a Pinterest account here. Is that utilized well?
I'll let Tucker elaborate on the Pinterest account.
Yeah, so the Pinterest account was set up probably a year and a half ago. I really haven't done too much with it to monitor it. It is still functioning, and I'm pretty sure it's still giving us a little bit of a push, but at this point in time, it's not really a huge part of our business.
What about within Amazon? Can you explain how people are finding your products?
You want to take that one, Tuck?
Yeah, sure. So we strictly use Amazon PPC to do all of our advertising. We're no means, professionals at advertising on Amazon, but we do understand the ins and outs of how it works, the importance of it for each listing and some of the different strategies behind it, whether it be a listing that you're just launching or an old listing that has gone through some organic growth and is ranking up on certain keyword pages. But we do try to focus on it. It's a big part of the business, as with any other Amazon business.
If you guys were to keep the business yourselves, what would you focus on to try to grow it? What do you feel the major opportunities are here?
Yeah, so we've had countless product ideas that would be a good opportunity to expand upon our current product line within our kind of wedding niche that we're in. So that's one thing. You can just the wedding industry is not tapped out. There's a lot more you can do there. But also, you can leverage some of the relationships we have with our two manufacturers. They have been great to us, and we've had some ideas that we haven't yet executed on. And now that we plan to sell, don't plan on doing. But any buyer could leverage those relationships and start launching additional products through those manufacturers. Like I said, they've been great to work with. And then even within our existing product line, if you aren't interested in adding more products, we only sell on Amazon.com in the US, but there's markets in Canada and the EU that we haven't tapped yet. And we think that would be one more opportunity. And then finally, I'd say we're just on Amazon.com in the US. You could go international, but you could also get off of Amazon and start doing things on Walmart or Jet.com or other sales channels that aren't just Amazon. So I really think there's a lot of opportunity to grow this business.
And on the opposite side of opportunities, there are risks. Do you feel like there are any potential risks here?
Yeah, so the low barrier to entry is what allowed us to get into this in the first place. Like Tucker was saying earlier, the Amazon marketplace allows you to tap millions of customers without too much effort. And we were able to do that 3.5 or so years ago, and others are able to do that now. So the competition is not going to go away. There are going to be people out there trying to do similar things that you're trying to do. I feel like we're in a good position here where we have this track record. We have great products, good reviews, good relationships with manufacturers, and it's not easy to put all that stuff together, but it is a lower barrier to entry to do this kind of business than some other kind of businesses. So the competition is going to be there. I view that as one of the risks. And then being exclusively on Amazon, you're kind of at the mercy of any changes that Amazon might make. We haven't been subject to any massive changes that really shake things up for us, but like I said, you are at Amazon's mercy. So that is a risk, even though I do think that Amazon understands that they want to be able to keep their third-party sellers in business, so they're not going to go too crazy. But you still have to keep an eye on what they're doing.
Would you guys commit to a non-compete?
Yes, absolutely. Like we said when we were explaining our reason for moving on here, we have a lot going on in our lives, and we don't have any intentions of starting another e-commerce business in the near future, let alone a competing e-commerce business.
How much support are you willing to provide the new owner during the transition period?
We're willing to be flexible. We mentioned we do work full-time jobs, so we can't give 24-hour support or anything like that, but we're happy to be available over email, take some phone calls. I don't expect that there would be too much need for that additional oversight. Like we said, it's a pretty low overhead business, but we're available to make this transition go as smoothly as possible.
Are you guys open to negotiating on something like an earnout?
Yeah, I think kind of a similar answer. We're open to taking in any different offers that come to the table. I will say I think we'd prefer a traditional purchase just to keep things a little cleaner. But if somebody has a more complex offer that they'd like to send our way, we're definitely willing to take a look at those and review the terms.
Awesome. Thank you both very much for taking the time with me today. Before I let you go, and I want to ask this question individually here, Tucker, let's start with you. So if you were looking at this business from the perspective of a buyer, why would you feel like it is an asset worth buying?
Well, yeah, it's a profitable business right now. I think there's a ton of room for growth. Many of the parts that Jake touched on with different sales channels, adding different products to the existing sales channels, even adding variations to the existing product lines are all opportunities for more growth to an already profitable business.
Jake, do you have anything to add here?
Sure, yeah. Tucker covered it pretty well. I guess I'll just say one really good example of why it would be great to own this business was just last month. I went on a ski trip in Japan, and while I was there, the nature of my day job is that I'm on contract work. So it wasn't a paid vacation for me, except it was because this business kept running in the background and kept generating some extra cash for me while I was out there. So you can kind of set it and forget it. Maybe not completely forget it, but you can put it on the back burner and it's still going to keep making money. So I really think it's worth the buy for those reasons.
Awesome. Thank you guys again very much for taking the time with me today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
If you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe to our channel. And if you want more information, the link will be below the video that will take you to this marketplace listing. If you're watching this on the listing page and want more information, become a depositor today. When you make the deposit, one of our business advisors will be in contact with you, and you'll be given everything you need to review this business. Have a great day.